Hello, my dear student, class 10. Now it is lesson 3, The Pushing Away of Bapu, written by Nayantara Sehgal. So before going to discussion about this lesson, I think we should know something about Nayantara Sehgal. Nayantara Sehgal, still now he was living. She was born in 1927. Is one of the first female Indian writers in English to receive wide recognition. First female Indian writer. He got the wide recognitions. He got the real fame. He received the great consideration, popularity, notable. That is called recognition. Her fiction deals with India's response to crisis brought about by political changes. Her fiction deals with matter টাকার উপর নির্ভর করছে তার যে কল্পনার লেখা, it's actually response to the crisis. It means it's a real problems about the political changes in India after the death of Mahatma Gandhi. She also won the Sahitya Academy Award in 1986 for a novel Rich Like Us. তার যে বিখ্যাত নোবেল উপন্যাস, তার জন্য তিনি 1986-এ সাহিত্য একাডেমি অ্যাওয়ার্ড পেয়েছিলেন। এই ভদ্রমহিলা actually wants to show the popularity of Gandhiji and its lifestyle, just to give a real fascination in his writing. So this text actually provide you the different ideology about Indian politics and the peoples who are with Mahatma Gandhi, how they will react after the death of Mahatma Gandhi. That's actually the live examples here. Now, what is the story here? গল্পটা কি? What about the text? The text is an extract from Nayantara Sehgal's memories, prisons and chocolate cake. এটা হচ্ছে মূল গল্পটির নাম। From this, writings recounts the incidents following the death of Gandhiji. It vividly describes not only the author's personal sense of loss, but also the collective griefs of the entire nation at the pushing away of Mahatma Gandhi. So this is the real thoughts, what actually given us the idea about her own and also the ideology and the attraction of the common people towards the death of Gandhi. Means it's a mixture of both the personal view and the view of the other people. Now, what is the story actually? Now, before going to start unit 1, I'm just giving you total discussions of the story. Once in the morning, in the evening, Nayantara Sehgal got the news about Gandhi's death being shot dead. She was in the Birla house, overwhelmed with the grief after hearing this news. Means he was actually numb with shock. He doesn't speak a single word. It's a real silence spread in all over the world that Gandhiji was no more. The peoples gathered the Birla house as they have received the news. But later, when she also went there and seen the crowd, he was shocked to see that the peoples were waiting there just to watch the last appearance of Gandhiji. Hence, finally, they wanted to get entry into the Gandhiji's house. So, how disciplined the people were on that time? It was really a surprisable matter for everyone. That the people don't lose their patience, but ultimately, when they were ordered to and get entry into Bapu's feet, they really stepped in and ultimately attached with Gandhiji. Next part, we have seen that the funeral part of Gandhiji's life, Gandhiji's dead body, it was really a great procession in Indian history. It is true that the people who were not directly attached with Gandhiji also came to the roads just to walk the last walks with Gandhiji. After a few days, his dead body was traveled with a lorry fastened with well decorated with the flowers. Finally, they carried to Allahabad by a special train amid a song and prayer. And the ashes of Gandhiji immersed in the Gangas in the presence of a huge crowd. Now, after returning to Delhi, Nayantara Sehgal realized that a protected circle of India actually lost. She also felt that the aliveness of Gandhiji was really not focused here, but his activities, but his, the honesty and the untouchable, against the untouchability. It's quite remembering for everyone. The people thought about the past, but actually wants to continue the life with his remembrance, with his tellings. I was having tea at home on the evening 13th January 1948 when I was called to build a house by an urgent telephone. Gandhiji had been shot on his way to a prayer meeting. I was numb with shock as I got into the car. It was really a surprising matter. Author was having tea. It was 13th June 1948. And in this meantime, she was called by someone through the urgent telephone call. As what is the news? That Gandhiji had been shot dead on the way to the prayer hall, prayer meeting. After hearing this, the author was really numb with shock. She was unable to speak a single word that what to do. At the Birla house, Gandhiji, Birla house, relatives and followers had gathered round his body. There was silence in the room as Gandhiji breathed his last. That's very calm and quiet situation in this Birla house, where the relatives and the followers were there with their last breath. Words of Bapuji's death had spread through Delhi like a flame fanned by wind. It's a real news, and it's actually spread like the fire. আগুনের মতো যেন ছড়িয়ে পড়লো চারিদিকে. Sad groups of men and women had collected around Birla House. Out of every window one could see a brown blur of faces. They did not make a sound. There was an unnatural silence. It was as if we stood still for too few minutes. It's the real loss of the country. And that's why the people don't think that, yes, what to do, what the next. And it is unnatural. এত লোকের ভিড়, but it's একটা মনে হচ্ছে যেন প্রাকৃতিকভাবে সবাই যেন চুপচাপ শান্ততায় ঘুরে আছে Birla House. Everyone is grief. Everyone in his sad mood. The people were too stunned to speak in the beginning, and later they clamored wildly shouting and crying. First, they were very much silent. They didn't speak a single word. They were surprised to hear this news. And after all, they clamored, they're making a sound, group wise, and shouting and crying about the grief, about the sadness, just to express their sadness. They jostled one another in a attempt to break into the house. They everyone wanted to see the last scene of Gandhiji. So they pushing each other. They actually stamped to break. তারা কিন্তু হুড়োহুড়ি হচ্ছিল. They calmed a little when it was announced that they would be allowed to see Gandhiji before the funeral. শেষকৃত্যের আগে সবাইকে দেখতে দেওয়া হবে. In that situation, it was really surprisable that everyone very much silent. যখনই সবার কাছে নিউজ এলো যে রিচুয়ালস এর আগে, লাস্ট ফিনারেলস এর আগে সবাইকে দেখতে দেওয়া হবে, so everyone is surprised. When one is faced with the shock of a loved one's death, one whimpers, what will become to me now that he has left me? This was surely the questions uppermost in the mind of the mourning people. They looked like lost children. It was a real fact. When one is faced with the shock of loved death, everyone, একটা মানুষ যখন he was full of shock, he was full of grief, full of panic, who loved of a loved one's death. One whimpers, কেউ জোরে চিৎকার করে, কেউ যেন বাকশক্তি হারিয়ে ফেলছে, কেউ যেন পাগলের মতো চেঁচাচ্ছে, whimpers. What will become now that he has left me? Means what will be happen after that? As like the children, they were crying to each other. They were in a great moment and thinking what to be happen next. Who will be the great leader of giving us the path? They looked like the children. It was the questions in many of our hearts as we sat still shocked and unbelieving. It was really never believable whether we will into the right path next. We listened to the broadcast telling the peoples of India that their bapu is no more. And finally, it was broadcasting through the radio that Gandhiji are বেঁচে নেই, বেতারে এটা আলোচনা হয়ে গেল. So that's all, few words are there. এই ওয়ার্ডসগুলো তোমাদেরকে মনে রাখতে হবে এবং সামারাইজ what I am telling you. Be summarize the lessons properly and must write down the words: clamored, jostled, whimpers, or relatives, flame like a flame fanned by wind, unnatural. এই ওয়ার্ডগুলো whimpers, clamored, jostled, এই ওয়ার্ডগুলো কিন্তু তোমাদেরকে খুব ভালো করে মনে রাখতে হবে. ব্রডকাস্ট, আনবিলিভিং, এই ওয়ার্ডগুলোর মিনিংগুলো কিন্তু পাশে লিখবে. Now what are the answers? Yes, দেখো খুব ইজি. Gandhiji has been shot dead to the way to build a house. আমি চুপচাপ লিখে দিলাম. The author came to know the Gandhiji's death by a telephone call. টেলিফোন তো একদম প্রথম লাইনে আছে. এইভাবে আনসারগুলো কিন্তু পরপর করতে হবে. When one is faced with the shock of a loved one's death, one is whimpers. তখন আরেকজন চিৎকার চেঁচামেচি শুরু করেছে, ক্রাইং, যেটা ঘ্যানর করা আর কি, সেটা করছে. Now fill in the blanks. Date on which the Gandhiji was shot dead. তারিখটা কত ছিল? 13th January 1948. The place of Gandhiji's bridge is last bridge হচ্ছে Birla House. Are informations given by the broadcast? Gandhiji was no more. So Gandhiji was expired. Now true false, providing the supporting statement. The author received an urgent telephone call in the morning. Morning নয়, এটা ছিল ইভিনিং, যখন তারা চা খাচ্ছিল, ইভিনিং কল. সো ইট ইজ মর্নিং নয়. তাহলে যেহেতু মর্নিং নয় তাহলে এটা ফলস. আই ওয়াজ হ্যাভিং টি ইন হোম ইন দ্য ইভিনিং বলছে. দেখো 13 January 1948 ফার্স্ট লাইনে আছে. দেখো পিপল অ্যাটেম্প্ট টু ব্রেক ইনটু দ্য বিল্ডা হাউস. না, প্রথমে কিন্তু প্রথমে করেনি, পরে কিন্তু তারা জসলিং করেছে. দেখো যে জসলিড ওয়ান অ্যানাদার ইন স্ট্যাম্পেড ইন ব্রেক ইনটু দ্য হাউস. তাহলে এটা ট্রু. দেয়ার ওয়াজ গান্ধীজিস ডেথ ডিডন্ট শক দ্য পিপল. এটা ভুল কথা. ইটস অলসো ফলস. We have still stalked and unbelieving that what to do next কি হবে. সো এটা ফলস আছে. আমরা চলে যাবো এবার ইউনিট 2-তে. গান ইউনিট 2-তে আমরা পড়াবো. সো লেটস ডু দ্যাট প্রপারলি. আমরা ইউনিট 2 এবং ইউনিট 3 এর পরের পার্টে আমরা করছি. সো দিস ইজ পার্ট 1 and I think you will complete this one properly for the Madhyamik and be prepared for that. Thank you very much for watching this channel.